So this is an updated webinar on how to do competitive research. Over the course of time, Cal State has done various updates to its library databases and outdated some of the old webinars that I did. So I'm updating this, especially with a great new database that I convinced the dean to get for us this past year. That is, in my opinion, the best possible database for competitive research. It's also a great database outside of this webinar's topic for doing sales prospecting outreach for all kinds of business to business sales. So I'll go through the database and a few other things that I want you guys to be able to do for competitive research, and then that'll be the webinar. So in this webinar, we're going to do some competitive research on two different oil company businesses. So there's a company in the oil sector here in Bakersfield that some of my students did a project for last semester called Hathaway LLC. They do they do drilling and management of oil wells around town, and they have a competitor who also does this work around town called Jayco Oil Company. So we are going to do an exercise in class where we focus on finding information about Hathaway's competitors. So Hathaway is our company that we're doing the research for, and we're going to do research on Jayco Oil Company. So the first thing you want to do is go to the CSUB library website. Go down to the bottom of the page for the CSUB webpage where it says library. Click on that. And then go to where it says databases A through Z right here. Click that. Then click on the letter R for Reference USA. And scroll down a little bit until you get to the place where it says Reference USA. And click that. Now, if you're off campus, like I am right now, you'll have to log in with your credentials. If you're on campus, then you'll go straight to the database. So this is what the database homepage looks like. You're going to go to where it says U.S. businesses and click on that. Basically, this is a database of every single business in the United States, all the little tiny ones that are hard to find, including and the big ones. So next, you need to go to Advanced Search. And at this point, you can do all kinds of things to like refine your search and search for things. I'm going to show you two different things about how to use this database. The first thing is just a simple company search. So we're going to click on company name and then type in Jayco Oil and click add. And then click view results. And you'll see there's 16 different results actually that say Jayco. Some of them say Jacobs. And they're in different locations. So you'll see several here: Arvin, Bakersfield, Lemoore, Mojave, Westminster. These are all the company we're looking for because we're looking for a company that is the competitor of Hathaway here in the Bakersfield and Kern County area. So these other ones are in different locations. They're actually different companies. So don't worry about those. What we want to do is focus on these Jayco Oil Company ones in Bakersfield. So you can really click on any one. I would recommend clicking on one that actually has the name of an executive on it. That'll be a little bit easier to follow. So if you click here on Jayco Oil Company, you'll see that it comes up with the address, the phone numbers, the website. If you scroll down, you'll see job postings that the company has. You'll see all the different industries that it's active in. So they do crude petroleum extraction. They actually run convenience stores. gas stations. You'll find out later when you do your research that they actually run the chain of fast trip gas stations and convenience stores around the area. They also do some real estate work and other stuff. So all of those things are the activities they're involved in. If you scroll down more, you'll see how many people work at the company. You'll see what their total revenues are. If this is a single location, if this is a location that is related to another like parent company, you'll see location sales volume instead of corporate sales volume. Since we're seeing corporate sales volume, this actually means that we're looking at the record in the database that's the headquarters location. Basically, one of the reasons why there's so many records in the database for Jayco Oil is because each of the individual separate locations are listed as a separate record in the database. So if we go back to the list for a second, if you look here on the right hand side where it says corporate tree, if you see a an icon there for corporate tree, that means the company is related to other companies in the database. And if there's an up arrow, it means this company is a subsidiary of some parent company. And if there's a down arrow, this is actually the headquarters, and there are other companies that are subsidiaries of the headquarters. So that's what those icons mean on these various locations. So this one that we picked with Thomas Jameson is actually the headquarters, and all of these other ones with the up arrows are the subsidiary locations. So going back to the record we were looking at, if we scroll down as well, you'll see there's the names of the leaders of the company: Thomas Jameson, Matthew Cheney. Some companies will have 10, 20 people listed here. Some will just have one. Some will have nobody listed. It all depends on how small the company is and how lucky the Reference USA database people were in locating information about the company. So that's all that. You'll see there's also information on business expenditures. So this actually makes an approximate estimate of what the company spends on accounting, on contracted labor, on legal services, on office equipment and supplies. That's not here for that one, but some of the companies it is. Payroll and benefits, rent and leasing, telecommunications, etc. This is all estimates of what the company spends annually on each of these areas. So also very good, useful information. You scroll down some more, there's business history and some other things as well. UCC filings. So if we expand that, you'll see here various UCC filings related back to the Uniform Commercial Code that we talked about in class last week. And you can see here the source filing ID, so that you could eventually look up what the exact filing was. So these are basically transactions that Jayco Oil took part in one way or another, and filed them with the Uniform Commercial Code. So competitors report. This lists some of the main competitors they have, nearby businesses, all kinds of interesting information in here. This is an amazing database for finding competitive research. It's also a great database, going off topic for a second, for doing sales prospecting research for business-to-business sales. So to give you guys a quick idea about that as a bonus for this webinar, if we go back to the search area again, take out company name, and go down to keyword SIC NAICS. You click on that, and then click on search for all NAICS. NAICS stands for North American Industrial Classification System. And these are 6-digit codes. They actually have 2 and 4 digit organizing structures too. But the easy thing to explain here is just to type the word of an industry that you're looking for in this keyword box. So again, if we were looking for oil companies, we could just type in oil, And you'll see here automotive oil, drilling oil and gas wells, all kinds of stuff. Let's look at drilling oil and gas wells. So if we click on that, and if we scroll down a bit, you'll see that under the selected box, drilling oil and gas wells is now selected. So if we leave that box clicked, and then we go down to city state right here, click on city state, and scroll down some more so we get to where that is, and then we type in Bakersfield and click go. There's actually three Bakersfields in the United States. We want the one in California, obviously. If you click the name of the industry and or the code of the industry and the city name, and then click results, you'll see there's 59 companies in Bakersfield that do drilling of oil and gas wells. So if you had like if you were a service provider that did maintenance on locations or provided machine parts and so forth for oil wells, or if you did hauling of like the water that they use to pump into the ground after the water's been done being used, or there's various like services that are performed for oil drilling around town. If you were one of those companies and you wanted to find that drill oil wells so that you could sell your products to them, you just go in, type this information that I said about the industry and the city, and then you can see all the companies in town that do that, and you can just go in and click on each of them, and you can contact them. Sometimes there's an email address. This database is not very good with populating email addresses, but they all have phone numbers. Many of them have jobs listed. They all have industry profile information. They all have information on how big the company is, how many employees, and what their sales volume is. Many of the records have the names of the executives. So you can just call and ask for Leslie Knox, the owner, and a lot of times you'll actually get connected to Leslie, and you can do your pitch about selling your products. So this is an amazing database for finding customers if you're trying to target businesses. So that was the bonus content in this webinar. If we go back to competitive research again, so all of that information about Jayco Oil, you want to basically summarize in a Word document, just like we've been doing on some of the other exercises. So the first thing is to go to the company record in Reference USA and cherry pick interesting, important information from the company page in Reference USA and put it into the Word document. So particularly good, particularly good information to cherry pick is, oops, Jayco Oil. And it's not going back now. So it wasn't going back because I left the other boxes checked. We have to uncheck those boxes in order to go back and look at the Jayco record again. So if we type in Jayco Oil, add view results, that brings us back to that list we were looking at before. And then we go in, and the location is a good thing to record. Phone number and website. Summarizing, so you don't have to put actually, it's a pretty good idea. Some bullet points listing all of the industry in all the activities that they're involved in. That's basically what you call it. You would put bullet points under activities for the company for each of these NAICS code areas. Then location employees, either location or corporate sales volume, are also important information to record. The names of the top managers are important to record. And then these business expenditures are important to record. So record all of that information in your Word document, and then move on to steps 2 and 3 of the competitive research process, which I'm about to show you right now. So let's close that. And we're going to use another database from the library now. So if you go back to the library web page and then go to databases A through Z again, and this time you go to P for ProQuest and scroll down, click on ProQuest. When you click on the ProQuest database, it'll open a screen that looks like this. You want to go to where it says Publications and then type in the word Experian and click Search. That pulls up the Experian Commercial Risk Database. Experian is one of the three major credit reporting companies in the world, or at least in the United States. There's other credit reporting companies in other countries, but in the United States, Experian is one of the three major credit reporting companies. So now you can just type in the name of the company that you're researching again, in this case, and click search. And you'll see here various records for Jayco Oil. 12 results. So these are all duplicates. Oil and gas, tires. Um, let's click on the oil and gas one. That's probably the one we're looking for. No, that's actually their Texas location. I'm not sure if that's actually related to our Bakersfield location or not. It might be, but if we go up here to the first one, let's click on that. There we go. This is the one in Bakersfield. So um, you can see some of the same information that's in the Reference USA database. So you've got the address, phone number, website, name of the executive. There's only one name of an executive listed here. There's a lot more in Reference USA. But the important thing you can find in this database, in addition, like Reference USA, you got the number of employees and the annual sales, the codes that they're involved in. Only one code instead of all the codes that are in Reference USA. And then legal summary, total legal liability, including accounts, number of all bankruptcies, liens, etc. Bankruptcies. So basically, this is saying that Jayco's in pretty good shape. They haven't been sued, or they don't have any liens against them from the government. You'll see credit and payment summaries. So risk level, no low to medium risk. Sometimes they will actually report the highest level of credit that they've run up on their loans and revolving credit accounts. Sometimes you can see the number of times that they've actually had a collection call, or like 30 days past due. You can see down here days past due on their payments. This one basically shows that Jayco's in pretty good shape financially. So you can basically summarize the details here. Um, in the case of Jayco, I would just summarize the fact that they are low to medium risk with no legal actions and no late payments. That's all there is to summarize here. If you were researching another company, you might end up summarizing how many times they were late, how high their credit was, and whether they had any legal summaries against them, or legal actions against them. In the case of Jayco, just summarize the fact that there's low to medium risk, no legal actions, and no past due payments. So that's step two of the competitive research assignment. And again, in that same Word document where you put the information from Reference USA, I want you to put the information about legal actions, credit level, and risk, and then past due payments. Then the third part of the research is to go to Google and type in the name of the company. Jayco Oil, and you'll see here there's various locations. There's one here on the side that actually describes Jayco, and it's got the website. If it's a really small company, you may find that they don't have a website. Jayco's a larger local oil company, so they've got a website, and it's pretty easy to find. So click on Jayco, um, and then surf around their website. Uh, you've got job postings. They're actually talking about fast trip, wholesale fuels, instant storage, retail. So these are actually various business divisions that they have for the company. Um, you can read about the company overall. I think the most important stuff to pull from a company's website is a very short list of just the areas that they're involved in for products and services, and maybe one sentence, no more than one sentence, about what they do in each of those product and service areas. If you notice job postings, that's also useful to put in your Word document summary. Just say per the per the website and put the website address in the Word document, and then space down, bullet point, the following jobs are currently being recruited for, and put bullet points listing those jobs. And then these are the areas that the website describes that the company is active in with products and services. And below that, put the bullet points, in this case for Fast Trip, wholesale fuels, instant storage, Jayco retail, and a one sentence description of what they do in each of those areas. The other thing that you want to do from a Google search is see if you can find their LinkedIn, Facebook, sometimes Instagram, Twitter, and other social media accounts. The most important ones that you usually find are LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So go to each of those pages, surf around, and see what you find. See if there's anything that you find on their social media pages that was not in the website already. And if you find something interesting, like, let's see here, home, there's no posts, so Jayco doesn't looks like Jayco doesn't really use their LinkedIn page much. So the only thing I would record on the Word document for Jayco is that they have no posts on their LinkedIn account. Then do the same thing if you can find their other social media pages. And then lastly, just see what else you find in Google. So there's Indeed here, so that's actually some job postings, Glassdoor. Sometimes you can find some information about the company on Glassdoor. This basically, if you're not familiar with Glassdoor, is reviews of the company from people that work there, either usually former employees. So this is kind of like Rate My Professor. Um, so you can read what people wrote about the company, whether it was good or bad. So um, looks like they actually want you to sign in with Facebook before you can actually view things. But anyway, you can see some interesting comments sometimes about um, people that might have not had the best experience working for Jayco. Um, and then finally, sometimes for consumer focused companies, um, you'll actually find like review accounts. So sometimes you'll find um, reviews about them on yellowpages.com. Sometimes find review accounts about them on. Um, Sometimes you'll find information on them about them on Yelp or on um, TripAdvisor. If they're consumer-focused companies, you're probably not going to find Yelp information about Jayco. You might find Yelp information about Fast Trip, but not about the parent company Jayco. So If you find information from the social media pages, then list that on the Word document saying LinkedIn page information, then a link for the LinkedIn page, and then space down in bullet points. LinkedIn page, we found that there are no posts on their LinkedIn page. And then you could do the same thing for the Facebook page. Maybe the Facebook page has 500 followers, so you're going to write down bullet point 500 followers. And then if you find a review on Yelp or Yellow Pages, so if we look here, Yellow Pages, um, so there's no reviews. If there were a review, you would see it down here. If there were a review, then you could summarize, for example, um, Yelp, uh, like link to their Yelp page and then space down bullet point. The company has 30 uh, high reviews and 3 low reviews. And then next bullet point, the low reviews complained about customer service, out of date items on the shelves, and uncleanliness in the bathrooms. I don't know. Whatever the complaints were, you can record that. And that's basically the most of what you can get in a competitor search. So that's what I wanted to teach you guys about competitor searches. It's all updated now from a couple webinars that I had a couple years ago. So this is what I want you to do for the competitive research exercise in class.